and welcome to Let's Talk About, a series spotlighting leaders, authors, artists, marketers, creators, and entrepreneurs sharing tips and tricks and advice on business, media, technology, and frankly, life itself. I'm your host, Cynthia Nelson, three-time entrepreneur, Forbes contributor, investor, and advisor. Today, we're talking to Sabir Semerkant, founder of Growth by Sabir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cynthia, for having me.
So you have this amazing background. I mean, you are like the growth guru. You've advised, I mean, you can go through how many people you've advised because it's a lot and they're all well known, big brands. But what's your background? How did you actually get here?
Yeah, I was not supposed to be here. So let's start from there, right?
That's a good
You
starting
know,
point.
from the age of 6, I would say all the way to perhaps like 28, something like that, computer scientist,
Uh-huh.
hacker, millions of lines of code. In fact, got carpal tunnel syndrome on
Yep,
my hands because of all that coding and stuff, 20
sure.
plus computer programming languages and so on. And then I hit an interesting pivot point in my career when I was brought into Vitamin Shop to take it from bankruptcy and into growth, you know, and there I got involved as a computer science guy who would come in and he knows the tech stuff. He's going to revive the company and all of that, right? So Jeff Horowitz, the founder of Vitamin
Yep.
Shop, brought me in through his network, and when I joined, that's exactly what I was doing because he had bought all the distressed assets from a bankruptcy court for vitaminshop.com
Mhm.
and then brought it in, put it on a literal shelf, not a not a
Yeah.
in a warehouse, and and then look for the right person. So I got involved in that project and I started doing what any engineer does: starts
Yeah.
putting back together, starts optimizing the servers, make sure everything is fine. Because in those days, there was no Shopify that you
Yeah. Nope. Yeah.
plop down your credit card and magically you have a eCom store. You have to build every aspect by hand, like Lego parts, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I put it back together. I start optimizing all the tech and stuff like that. And then I go back to Jeff and say, Jeff, hey, who's my marketing business partner that I need to team up with to do this?
Right.
Gives me a puzzled look. I was like, what are you talking about? My network told me the guys who referred you said, you're the guy. I said, sounds like now Scotty talking to Captain Kirk, right? I'm an engineer, not a marketer, right?
Exactly.
He goes like, no, I've already seen a lot of things you have done to the site. You know what? I'm gonna teach you the vitamin business. You are smart enough. I'm sure that have you taken any business courses? I said they made me take economics 101 and accounting 101
Right.
because they wouldn't give me my computer science degree. They
Right.
said, well, go to a bookstore, figure it out, right? So what I would do, I would go into on the weekends. I don't know if you're familiar with New York, but on
Mhm.
Long Island there is a gigantic bookstore called Barnes and Noble
Yeah, I live in
near
New York City.
Roosevelt Field Mall, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it still stands today. So I go in there on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Go to the business section, marketing section. I pick out the books. I sit. They have a nice cafe there. They
Yep.
always had that, right? I sit there. I take notes. If the book is really good, I would go buy it. Otherwise, I would just take notes and put the book back, right? That's what I was doing on the weekends. And
Mhm.
when I came into work, being an engineer, I have no reference points, right? Whatever experiment I'm doing, that's my reference point, right? That's what I would do
Right.
every single day for 4.5 years. If that's for 4.5 years, that's about 1,000 working days.
Yeah.
Every single day, that's what I was doing. Monday through Friday, implement what I learned that weekend.
Yeah.
Pre-bankruptcy, Vitamin Shop was between $8 to $10 million with huge mounting losses. That's why it went into bankruptcy,
Yeah.
right? In 4.5 years, first try, from less than $10 million and really bad gross margin, like 30%, to $52 million and 68% gross margin. And that was my first try. And I learned quite a lot from
Sure.
that experience. And we can go into that.
No, it's super interesting because Vitamin Shop, it's like I love Vitamin Shop, by the way. And I didn't know that story, but that's fascinating. And you did it by hook and crook. Like you did it by learning, implementing, learning, testing, which is a lot of what we still do today in so many ways, right? Is we test out theories that we have related to customer acquisition or related to segmentation or related to personas to see if our intuition, our data is actually right. But you've built this whole program now, like kind of fast forward, you call it the 8D method. So what is it? And what makes it different than other growth frameworks that are out there?
So here's the thing. Most frameworks just focus on one thing, and it tends to be doing something with meta ads, you know.
Mhm.
Most of them, that's what they, I don't want to poo-poo on it, you know, that's what most of them do. Given my experience of 25 years, over $1 billion in incremental ecom sales, that's a lot of learning, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
by the way, this haircut is not because I like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, right? There is no hair follicles left on my head and pretty deep scars on my back too, you know.
I get it.
So when you go through that much experience, you know, one of the things I realized is marketing is not the only lever you pull when you are trying to grow, right? When you pull on that lever, and if you are lopsided on that and you just do just that, right? What
Mhm.
happens is those companies always get into trouble. And by the way, Vitamin Shop is not the only company that I helped that was in bankruptcy, that I turned it around and start growing it really profitably, right? And along the way, everything I learn, it becomes a part of it. So the 8D method stands for 8 dimensions of e-commerce growth, right? That's the framework. So it's not just marketing,
Mhm.
right? So you have to look at all 8 dimensions in order to grow and scale your business profitably, right? And if you don't do that, what ends up happening? You become over reliant and more. And this is a pretty typical issue, even in 2025 right now.
Yeah,
Most entrepreneurs, they hear like, if you get a Shopify, you got to get meta ads and that's it. Call it
exactly.
a day, right? And
Exactly.
what happens? iOS 14 updates
Oh yeah.
or meta ads, the ad delivery service stops functioning, right?
Yep.
When you try to scale from $100 per day to $150 per day,
Yep.
those are pain points. I'm hurting a lot of people's emotions right now, right? You know,
Yep.
when I'm saying these things, it can't be lopsided like that. That's why there are 8 dimensions to the growth. And when companies run into trouble, the reason is they focus on, in fact, meta ads and paid media marketing is a sub dimension of a bigger dimension. So it does not even belong in a dimension itself. It's a sub dimension of a dimension.
I mean, there's so many spokes to the wheel, is what you're really saying. And if you're lopsided on just one, you get caught. I mean, you hear this all the time. You just said the same thing, but I'm repeating it for the audience. You hear it every day. Oh my God, they just changed the algorithm. My ads aren't working. Yeah, dummy. Because you got everything in one place and you think that only that thing is going to make it work. So I love the fact that you're taking it from a very broad perspective
It's holistic.
and a flywheel. Like
Oh
really
yeah.
you're creating a real organic, authentic flywheel that actually works for the company and you can pull data points out of it and really drive the growth. So I love that you've worked with all these other companies. I mean, let's talk about Ashley Stewart. You went from what, 3 million to 30 million. What was the key
In
unlock
2 years.
there in 2 years? Okay, like, okay, 24 months. Everybody listening out there, they're like, holy shit, how do I get a hold of this guy? We're going to talk about that too. But, 3 million to 30 million, what was the key unlock there in 2 years?
So in there, what happened was that also what's interesting in that story, that has a tie-in with Vitamin Shop, but there's an 8 year difference between those two stories, right? So in case of Ashley Stewart, on a random day, I got a call. Hey, I just got your number. My name is Cosmo LaForgia. Do you remember me? We worked together at Vitamin Shop. So Cosmo LaForgia was the CFO of the
Ah,
Vitamin Shop at when I had my tenure there. When I was doing the thing I was doing. Hey, I left Vitamin Shop. Now I'm at Ashley Stewart. This company, the entire company went into bankruptcy, and the entire brand was on distressed. So
yeah.
a VC company saved it, and we have new owners now. And they brought me in to become the CFO of this company. And the first name I thought about was you, because I remember what you did at Vitamin Shop. Not only did you grow the thing on a top line, everything you did was so very much purposeful and intentful, right? And very profitable growth, right? can we talk about Ashley Stewart? So Ashley Stewart is a African American plus size women's fashion brand, fast fashion brand, right? Before it went into bankruptcy, you'll hear a lot of parallels between these, right? This is why when you throw a problem at an engineer, I see it very similar. It doesn't matter if it was a vitamin industry and this one is fashion, doesn't matter to me,
Right.
right? By the way, I've worked across so many industries, so many countries, so many currencies. It doesn't matter, right? This works, you know.
Mhm.
So this company went into Ashley Stewart went into bankruptcy. 35% gross margin. It's a nascent eCom channel. It's like less than 3 million, so it's a little smaller than Vitamin Shop when you took over. And you know, can we talk about this, right? I get in there. One of the first things that I realize, one of the biggest unlocks I realize is here's the phrase that I used, and people who are involved with it will refer to it. I said, "We are Ashley Stewart. We don't want to be JCPenney or try to compete with JCPenney.
Mhm.
This plus size woman should feel incredible wearing Ashley Stewart. She should be very proud, whether she's going to work, she's going to happy hour, she's going to a family barbecue, she's going to any life events. We want to dress her up. We want to make her feel great, right? One of the biggest unlocks, they were promoting, just because there's a high velocity on it, they were promoting what I call core basics,
Mhm.
right? So bra,
Yeah.
panties,
Yeah.
pantyhose, you
Yeah.
know, things like that, jeans,
Right.
t-shirts. Like, we're not in that business. That's JC Penney's business. That's
Yeah.
Lane Bryant's business.
Yeah.
We are Ashley Stewart. How about we become the bigger people, the bigger brand in this? Still fast fashion, right? We're not rainbow shops, right?
Right.
So from now on, completely forbidden. You know, you cannot feature core basics anywhere, anywhere. Does she know that we carry these things?
Sure.
Yes. There's no need for us to put it in her face that not only we carry the thing, now we are putting it on sale, right? There's no need for that, right?
Yep.
Core
Yeah.
basics, 365 days.
Yeah.
We're a trusted source. You'll come and buy from us.
Exactly.
Everything that we do, we will get amazing models. We will put the clothing on her, make her, dress her up, make her look fabulous, and we'll take amazing photos, right?
Mhm.
Because that's the only thing I'm selling on Ashley Stewart. I'm selling photos and videos.
Yeah.
It just so happens it happens to be clothing that I'm selling at the
Right.
end of the day,
Right.
but I
Right.
am ultimately I'm selling amazing photos and amazing video. That's all I'm selling. With that, 3 million, less than, it was actually less than 3 million. It was like 2.2 million or 2.5 million, something like that, at 30%. 65% at 30 million. It went from 3 million to 10 million, and 10 million to 30. When you treat your consumers with respect and you show them that you are the destination
Yeah.
for her serious needs, and plus, when you are a plus size woman, one of the challenges is for you to find the right size.
Yeah.
If you are that platform, that you are the one that caters to that,
Yeah.
and you give her all the tools she needs, all the clothing to look fabulous, you got her.
Yeah. Well,
Not only will she buy, she will
customer
tell
focused.
everybody else in her life.
I think that's what brands sometimes forget. They think it's all about the clothes and showing you what they've got versus this is we're concerned about you.
Yep.
We're customer centric. We're not clothing centric. We're customer centric. We just happen to sell clothes, but we're focused on you when we're being authentic and making you look the best you can look. It's a
the
great
brand the brand is not the center of the universe in
yeah, yeah,
2025.
yeah,
The consumer is. She
yeah,
has
completely.
choices,
Yes.
and she's bombarded with those variety of options on social media, email
Yep.
marketing, and
Yep.
even when she drives her kids to school, she will
Yep.
see the billboard, right?
Yep.
That turns on TV. A
Yep.
TV could be YouTube or NBC, doesn't matter, right? And she will be bombarded with those messages. So she is the center of the universe, and you need to play a role as a brand in her life.
Exactly. Not the other way around.
Yep.
So this whole system, who's specifically for Rapid 2X? Like there's a whole program for that.
So I classify entrepreneurs into two buckets, right? There are two categories of entrepreneurs, right? One one is like, I need to go and find a guy to do that for me, right? And even if they're operating that thing for, and they get in trouble because they don't know what they're buying. They don't know, like, this is a lot of entrepreneurs who go with Fiverr and Upwork and smaller agencies. They don't invest in the right people. They don't invest in the right solutions. To them, as long as they're investing into something, right?
Yeah.
Like, they think that they're doing the okay thing. What's happening is they're wasting a lot of time and money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's a group of entrepreneurs this program is absolutely not for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you have to be a certain personality type to actually succeed. This is why, the brands that have gone through this program, the framework is called 8D method. The
Yep.
implementation program for the 8D method is called Rapid 2X,
Got it.
right?
Okay.
And
Yep.
typical brands in 2024, that, and it's hundreds of brands that have gone through that, right? All, most of them Shopify businesses. I would say 95% of them are Shopify businesses. There were some WooCommerce and Magento type businesses, but 95% was Shopify. They experienced 118% growth incremental. And it's not just during the program, it's compounds over time. So you don't give up that growth, right?
Right. Right.
And that means that structurally, that's the right growth strategy for the business, right? So the group that actually succeeds in the program, and actually I've coached and trained my people that actually take on the phone calls, people when they apply to the program, they actually go through a rigorous interview process. All the entrepreneurs, if their personality type doesn't match or the business is not the right fit,
Yeah.
we just point them in the right direction, but we don't take them on to participate in the program, because your personality and the business has to be the right fit,
Yeah.
right?
And otherwise it's a no-win situation for both of you. It's a waste of time.
Yep.
It's
And
a
the
waste.
most successful in the program are the ones that came in and said, Sabir, you're the guru. You know this stuff. I
Yes.
don't know. Just tell me, just prescribe to me what I need to do. I'm gonna just do it. And the entrepreneurs that just blindly follow the prescription, the Rapid 2X prescription, and it's not that it's complicated. It's like there are 5 tasks per week, up to 5 tasks. Sometimes it's just three, right? Per week. If you even dedicate one task per day,
Yeah.
in 5 days you'll be done with those tasks
Right.
basically.
Right.
Maybe you don't have the expertise. We even have a Rapid 2X approved partner network, right, where we have implementation partners, we have software partners, we have app partners that can help you with that, and they offer the Rapid 2X prescription package in order to help you with that implementation, so you don't have to even go like, well, I don't have a guy, I'm looking for a guy or whatever,
Right.
or a
Right.
gal. The thing is, you don't have to even do that. We save you time. Like, here's access to the network. Go and tell them that you're Rapid 2X, and they will implement the Rapid 2X prescription for you. And that's how that's the partnership that we have in place.
And I love the personality side of it too, because if you don't know what you don't know and you're not willing to listen, you're out. It just never going to work, right? And having the maturity, right? And also, standing back and saying, I don't know what I don't know. Maybe I'm a great creator or I'm a great engineer, but I'm not a great marketer. Like people tend to think, oh yeah, let's build the technology, let's build this, do this, create these great products. And oh, yeah, but marketing, like anybody can do marketing. It's like, no, that's not. It's a discipline. People get degrees in it, just like computer science. I've heard that, I've seen tech people create tech, and then like, oh, they just like, when you build it and they're gonna come? That's not how it works. Like you put this amount of money in here, you don't, and then you have no money for marketing spend. Okay, you're screwed. Like
Yeah, I mean,
and you
in
don't believe marketing. You think it's all, apple pie and, sweet mothers. It's like that's not what this is. This is data and analytics and, and really
you
understanding
got it. Yeah,
consumer base.
exactly.
This is a lot. This is as much as what art with creative as it is a science with data. Not
Yep.
easy. And
Yep.
today with AI, mean, we're going to talk about that in a second too, but I'm going to go back. You've worked with a ton of brands. I mean, I'm just going to name some people. GaryVee, Neil Patel, Matt Higgins from Shark Tank. You've advised Fortune 500 companies. You scaled brands like Canon, Tommy Hilfiger, Sour Patch Kids. I mean, these are all mega people, mega brands. You know, Today, 2025, this is a very volatile time for brands right now. I mean,
Yep.
lots of disruption going on, lots of bankruptcies happening in big retail, the stock market fluctuations, tariffs on products. We've seen, many e-coms brands are going to struggle. You said it, they're going to struggle in 2025. What trends or warning signs should founders be paying attention to right now?
The thing is, when you have, I have actually operated in all sorts of economic conditions, right? Gulf War one, two, recession, dot-com blow up,
Yep, yep,
2008 financial meltdown,
yep,
and throughout all of those, and in the past 25 years, if you think about all the economic cycles that have happened, I
yep,
have worked in all of it, including global recession, right? And global resignation and the pandemic, right?
yep.
The thing is, if you have the right foundation in your business, right, you will continue succeeding, right? If you are like I said, if you're lopsided and you focus on a single channel and you think that, okay, you know what, when things are high, right, when everybody has a lot of money to spend, right,
Yeah,
and you think that as a business owner you are a genius, right,
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
business is going up like that.
Totally,
How many
totally.
stories, Cynthia, you have heard on this
Oh yeah,
podcast where they said we were doing so well during the pandemic. I don't know what happened.
yeah,
Past 2 years, the business started tanking like this.
yeah,
The thing is, the pandemic actually helped e-commerce accelerate growth like
yeah,
this,
yeah.
right?
Completely.
You were not the genius at all in
No, no,
that
no,
equation
no,
at all,
no,
right?
no. Nothing to do
But
with you.
but you could have been the genius if you had implemented all the right foundations so that when you take away people being stuck at home and all they're doing is Netflixing and then they're doing Zoom meetings and then they're cooking at home. Those were the three activities most people did, right? During
Right.
the pandemic,
Yeah.
right? But now it opened up. The first day it opened up in any of the US states or any countries around the world. What is the first thing people did? They got into their car, they
Yeah.
started traveling, right? They at least traveled to the local mall or a shopping center,
Yeah.
or they traveled to go see their loved ones, or they did that.
Yeah.
And they went like, oh, you know what? They, in fact, even if you look at retail sales,
Yeah.
physical retail sales, as soon as the pandemic lockdown was lifted, those businesses skyrocketed. Like, but ecom during pandemic was going up like that, right? So what helps that these cycles is having these, the 8 dimensions that I said to you, right? So regardless of what economic cycle you go through, I've grown businesses in 2008 and 9 when everybody was like holding on to their funds and worried about their jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
Still, I was growing the businesses, right? Because it did not matter, right? During 2008 and 9, that was Carol's daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 million to $10 million in 12 to 18 months. It got acquired because of that. It got acquired by L'Oreal. Now Lisa Price, who's the founder of Carol's
Yep.
daughter,
Yep.
sits at L'Oreal headquarters in Hudson Yards in New York City, right? So it doesn't matter what the environment is. Would it affect it? Yeah, if you have the right strategies, you have put all those guardrails around your brand
Right.
so that it helps it. And what happens to your competition? They panic, and the first thing that they do, they stop spending
They stop spending. They cut marketing spend. It's amazing. It's
or
like,
fire their salespeople.
or they fire. Oh yeah. There's the other one. Oh my God, those are so true. They fire the salespeople. Hello, and they cut marketing spend. The
How are
two
you going to do business then?
the two things that everybody else is doing. Don't do that, and guess what? You're going to sweep the
We're
competition.
going to cut off our legs. That's it.
It's amazing. You know, I cut AI, EIEIO, AI, right? It's affecting everything. And how is it affecting e-commerce brands, good and bad?
So in many different ways, by the way, in the program we do for our active rapid 2xers, that's the implementation program. We do premium workshops on how to utilize AI properly, right? In e-commerce. So
Mm,
very recently, we actually did a very detailed session on using AI to do SEO optimization of your site and also content marketing, right? And there are ways to do it so that your content doesn't sound robotic or
right, right.
inhuman or robotic, very much AI generated. There are ways to handle that. So we actually did that. And a lot of the Rapid 2Xers are actually implementing it. And you don't get dinged with like bot detection or anything
Right,
like
right,
that to
right,
say that, oh, this is an AI generated content. It actually passes all of those AI detections. So AI has given you the 17 arms that an entrepreneur needs in their daily lives to get those 17 tasks they cannot get in to get it to complete.
I
Now
agree.
there is the right way to do it,
Right.
and that's what we cover in the program. Also, we do utilize AI also as part of our program to actually show you how can you actually use it in order for you to accelerate that growth, right?
Right.
Remember, I said at the very beginning of this podcast, I said that a vitamin shop took me 4.5 years to like 4x, right? From
Right.
10 to 52, like 5x, 5.2x, right? It took me 4.5 years.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
in 6 weeks, 118%,
Yeah. Yeah.
in 6 weeks. The
Yeah.
thing is, as I have gone through this, the 80 method, some of it, the tools were not there, social media was not there. In fact, 25 years ago, I beta tested Google at Stanford,
Yeah. There you go.
google.com. Okay. So, that I've been lucky to have had this holistic access to e-commerce. In fact, when e-commerce was given birth to, I was there. That's
Yep.
how long I've been part of it. So I know every nuance of it and stuff like that. You just have to understand whenever that technology comes in, like AI is a godsend. It's incredible. There are certain things you could do with Anthropic,
Yep.
Claude AI. It does a great job of it. There are things that you could use ChatGPT for, and it does a great job of that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT, very analytical, data-driven, data analysis. It does a great job, right? Content generation, not so much, right? When it
Mm-hmm.
comes to content generation and prompting it to write really well, Claude AI does a fabulous job of that, right? And there are new entrants like DeepSeek and Manos and a few others. Perplexity utilizes. You could use any of the different models there to do that. In fact, even since we are recording this today and it's going to go live soon, right? Claude AI very recently, last 2 weeks, they introduced web search. So
Yep.
now when you do deep search on Claude AI, it actually goes out and finds you real-time data in order to give you most relevant information right now, not stuff that was stuck back in whatever October 2024 or June 2024.
Yeah, I find it so useful in my everyday work, work and personal. But I know people in my industry, and I've been in .com since '93, so same, right? Long time. But I find people not adapting to the technology, and I'm just thinking, oh my God, like your kid is using it. Your kid's using it. Let them teach you, right? And you got to train your model. You got to train, if you're using chat, you need to train it. You need to feed it data so that when you ask it something about a client, about a proposition, about whatever it is, it actually has a lot of data stored already about it. So it's going to come out with much better, crap in, crap out, right? It's
Yeah.
going to come out with much better information as you train the models. I love your outlook on it. Um, if you had a crystal ball, what would you predict for 2025? What should we look out for?
I think foundationally, your business should not really rely on any crystal balls. You should not, right? I actually, what I say to my to my mentees, I guess, or my clients, right? I say to them, I'm here to kill your hope, right? I don't want you to operate on some kind of voodoo magic or pray to God or to revenue gods or look at crystal balls. I'm here to kill that hope. What I want to give you is actual prescription and plan. And when you plan, a man with a plan succeeds more often than a man or a woman without a plan, right?
I
So
love
I'm going to
that.
give you a plan on how to grow your business, and you will be given the right coaching. So one of the things, it's not just the prescription of taking growth and doing that.
Right,
A lot of the entrepreneurs also grow as an entrepreneur in the program too,
right,
to
right.
understand what's important, what you should pay attention to, and what is complete waste of time, in
Exactly.
your business. Because the thing is, you get distracted so often. TikTok,
Yeah,
TikTok, TikTok. People
yeah,
are giving you all sorts of disinformation or misinformation
yeah.
about what you should be doing. What one of the folks on these podcasts asked me, what advice would you give your younger self if you can
Yeah.
go back in time and look at yourself when you were 10 years old? I'd say I would advise him to be even more patient, right?
Hmm.
Do things very much thought driven,
Yeah.
with proper data, with proper planning. And it's not important for you to do 50,000 things in a week. And a lot of entrepreneurs, unfortunately, that's what they do. They work 18 hours a day, and the week ends and go like, what did you do? They
Yeah.
have nothing to show for it, right?
This is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep.
This is seriously a marathon and not a sprint,
Well,
entrepreneur.
one of our rapid 2Xers, I'll bring her up, is Lisa
Yes.
Denon. She's a founder of Lions Leather Co. She joined the company. She was growing her brand, handcrafted handbags, right? So she joined the program to actually get the right foundation into her business. She was growing it, but then she joined the program. She understood that we are not here to do 1,000 different things. We do like five things, right?
Mhm.
In fact, what they were going through the program, she actually made it her life's goal to work less, right?
Yep, there you go.
So during the first 6 weeks of the program, 1,400% growth, 1,400% growth, right?
Amazing.
And she's one of the OGs in the program.
Mhm.
Actually, now she's anniversarying those months now. She's still growing at 48%, and she's gone from like it was I think the brand was like 600 700K. A lot of your listeners probably are in that same boat, right? Like now multi eight figure and scaling, and the meta ads ROAS 9x, not 9%. I want your listeners to hear
Very
this.
different.
9x, right? And most importantly, I just brought her back in as an OG to kind of give her advice and from her life's lessons and what she learned being part of the program to advise all the current rapid 2Xers.
That's
She
awesome.
said that one of the biggest things I learned is you don't have to do too many things. You have to do a few things, the right things, really deeply. That's number one. Number two, you don't have to work 40 hours a week. Right now, she said that she's working 10 hours a week and she's scaling the business,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That's the thing. Work smarter, not harder. Don't let it be a cliche, right? In this program, that's the other thing you learn as an entrepreneur, and you grow as an entrepreneur in this program. Not just the revenue growth is great. You growing as a human being, as an entrepreneur, is a bigger lesson that you'll learn, because the thing that you're doing, the business that you're running right now, is not going to be your final chapter, right? You're going to
Right.
do this, you're going to grow it up to a certain point, like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. You're going to put it up for sale, you're going to sell it, and then you're going to get bored, you're going to get the itch again. You're going to go and start up
Always
another
do.
thing,
Yeah.
hopefully the second time around smarter and better, right? and
Yeah.
and that's why we also have serial entrepreneurs
Mhm.
who have exited their business. They sold it, they started a new business, their revenue is zero.
Mhm.
2xing zero is still zero, but they
Yeah.
want to implement the right foundation, and they have their funds, they're implementing it. One example is Michael Hancock's from Oma, an incredible guy, right? As he's learning part of the Rapid 2X, he was actually building the brand, and during the program he launched his brand. So we have had folks like that, but most of them come in with a product market fit.
Yep.
That means that you have at least gotten like 100K to
Yeah.
250K.
They
But
already
we
know.
we have
Yeah.
rapid 2Xers that are $10 million business in the
Yeah.
program also,
Yeah.
because the thing is, the prescriptions, because they are foundational and strategic, it works across
It's
the spectrum.
anybody.
I've worked from 0 to 1 billion,
Yeah.
so those prescriptions actually work properly, and you'll be surprised that the brand at 250K is missing that thing, and so is the one that's at
Branded.
3.5 million.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
The same thing doesn't matter. So to learn more about you, growthbysabir.com/talkabout is where they can get to you. And then how do they get
Slash talk about it. You
that
can
talk
include
about,
that in
sorry,
the
talk
links
about
to
it.
make it simple. Yeah.
And I'll put it in, but also how do they get you via email? Can they just directly email you? Please
No,
give
the best thing to do is go in to the site. There is
got it.
a lot of information there. We have case studies there.
Perfect.
In fact, the 80 book, I don't know if you can see it behind that camera,
Yeah.
is available on the site. For your listeners, they can go and get their access to a complimentary copy, right? You just have to click on it. I think three-fourths down on the homepage.
Great.
The call to action is there. They can click on that once they go to that link first, right?
Yep.
They can click on it, get access to the book. There's case studies. I do walkthrough of even Oram Brothers, which we didn't cover. Oram Brothers was stuck at 1.5 million, right? In the first 6 weeks, we grew it by 112%.
That's amazing.
And then they continue growing. We ended the year, not only did we outgrow it, we outgrew it on top line and bottom line. We ended the year at 3 million. This year, our goal is to grow it to 10 million, and next year will be 30 million, right? So lots of great examples. And actually, on the side, we do a detailed walkthrough of that case study, step by step. Like literally, I share a Google Doc tell them this is exactly, these are the steps that we took to do this. So the site is the best place to go. And
Great.
if they see that they would like to apply to the program, we go through the interview process. So they hit the apply button and then they apply to the program, talk to one of my guys, right? Once they go through that, they will learn that. And also once we see that it's a good fit, we do
Yeah.
my team actually invites them to attend a live workshop that I do, right? So that this way it's not emailing back and forth.
Yeah.
They
No.
get me
Right.
live. They ask me any questions. They can ask me about 8D method, rapid 2x. People also bring up random stuff like, hey, I had a partner. We were both working together, husband and wife. Now we're divorced. We're running into trouble. I've dealt with those problems too,
Oh yeah.
unfortunately, right?
Oh
Not
yeah.
just
Haven't
bankruptcies,
we all?
Yeah.
I love it. So growthbysabir.com/talk about it. That's where everybody needs to go. Thank you so much for your time. This has been really amazing. You have amazing background. I'm really excited for the audience to get to hear this. And I hope you'll be back on the show in the near future to share some more of your insights and knowledge. But thanks.
Thank you, Cynthia, for sharing your platform with me.